Akira, this is Aaliyah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You've just introduced an element into the procedure that I've never heard in any other run through this, of which there have been many, and basically you're using a similar thing to what I do, but you've just introduced an entirely new resonance loop, which is quite fascinating to me. Lots of times we imagine having what we intend, and lots of times when we get it, we're grateful for it. But the specific setting in the present of a specific moment in the future at which you will look back on this moment in the present and say, I created these two moments.
Mm-hmm.
I created, you're looking in the future, you'll look back on the moment that you created, the moment in the future that you're looking back on. You can see what I'm talking about, the resonance. That is beautiful. That is fascinating. I love it.
Yeah, it was, I guess I basically did it spontaneously eventually, but more or less it's from the Hathor's timeline jumping stuff. I think you're familiar with it, yeah?
No, I know that they've done it, but I haven't gone in and looked at it.
Yeah, go look at that. I think you'll find it extremely interesting. It basically talks about those loops and jumping to a different timeline on purpose.
It reminds me, just very, very briefly, my first moments of adult consciousness. I was riding in the car. I was about 12 years old, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, there could be a moment in the future in which I will look back on this moment in which I was sitting in the car, sitting here thinking about having a moment in the future in which I would look back on sitting here in the car.
Mm-hmm. And
that was my first moment of what I would call adult consciousness.
Awesome. Yeah, time is a funny thing.
It's that kind of a recursive loop that you're setting up here, and you're doing it specifically in the field of acknowledgement and appreciation. So this is a much stronger connection. This is a much stronger resonance with the future than any of the techniques that I've been using or others that I've been familiar with have been using. It strengthens it a lot.
Oh, awesome. Thanks a lot for the feedback. I'd always kind of, now that you mention it, I haven't really seen it anywhere else, and I always wondered how it was that I had done that so deeply, so quickly. And that makes sense.
Lots of times when I create something, I say, I created this. That's wonderful. But I don't look back on the moment in which I set it in motion, you see.
Or plan in the moment of motion to intend to look back.
Right, exactly. That's what sets up the loop. Yes, that is new, my dear. That is great.
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool.
Okay, back on mute, and I gotta get on the road again here. I'll listen as long as I can.
Alrighty. Awesome. Thanks for adding it in there.
This is Doug.
Go ahead.
Take it for what it's worth. I'm feeling it, and my guys are telling me that was when she first started to awaken to the spiritual consciousness.
The 12-year-old in the car experience?
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. Did you hear that? Or I guess she went on.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it spiritual consciousness. I would call it adult consciousness. In Piaget's terms, it's the formal operational stage where you're operating on operators. It's a self-awareness that younger children are not capable of.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we are playing with creating a car. So we're playing with creating whatever. The boyfriend who's here from California feeling a lot better and not dead. All kinds of things. Anything at all. This is how we create the life, the world where we're around. But now we get to do it on purpose. Welcome back to whoever just joined us.
Hey, it's Lisa. I just switched phones. Sorry.
No problem. So we've talked about anchor points and blah, blah, blah. And we've decided upon our details. We've also decided upon our anchor points, which is the point in the future that we're going to look back and go, wow, this was awesome. We created this. We've created the surroundings to some degree, the actual details, but not so much that we're locking ourselves in. Every time we feel doubt, we kind of, give a little shake to everything that's starting to coalesce. Abraham Hicks' law of attraction, they say, they basically denote it to when you're baking a cake and opening the oven every few seconds just to see if it's actually done yet. Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Every time you open the oven, you let the heat out a little bit, and if you do it way too much, the cake will fall or it just won't get done at all. So more or less, giving yourself enough wiggle room where you can just create it, have it be cool, have it be awesome, feel the appreciation, anchor in the place, time, whatever, people, it can be whenever. Just know that you're going to be looking back and feeling it. Then go about living your life. Here's another piece that I don't know how many people, I think Beacons of Light, they talk about it, but I don't think they talk about it in this way. There's the phrase that they use is look for the syncs, S-Y-N-C-S, the synchronicities. My mom used to say God works in synchronicities, and I do believe in God as far as all that is and source and things like that. But synchronicities I've come to realize are more of an experience of resonance matchup. A synchronicity is an amazing set of coincidences that are pretty much undeniable. They just basically show you that you're on the right path, that you are getting up there. To take, for instance, the feeling better and not dying one. You're, coughing and you feel like crap or whatever, and you're walking by and you hear somebody in a conversation about how well they feel. They're talking just about the kind of thing you just had, or you still have, and they feel amazing. They're really good. That's a synchronicity. It's not like jaw-dropping incredible, but it is a sign. It shows you that you are starting to line up. You're starting to line up and close the gap between the resonance of who you were and the resonance of who you are going to be when this comes to pass. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, I'm following.
Very cool. So you can boost that. You can actually milk that with appreciation. Celebrate. Do a happy dance. Whatever. But milk it. Feel the joy. Go, wow, this is awesome. I'm getting closer, and this is showing me. The more you milk it, the faster you will get that resonance to spin in non-doubt. You're going to spin that spoon faster with appreciation, gratitude. Greg Baden? Oh, I don't know. There's a Greg. He does metaphysics stuff. He has the technique called pray rain. Basically, he learned it from some indigenous peoples who, whenever there's a drought, they go out and they stand in the middle of the driest, droutiest area. And they remember what it was like to feel rain. They close their eyes and they feel the rain falling on their head. They smell the rain in the air. They think of the corn that they got to eat, or whatever it is they were eating. The feel of the ground squishing underfoot, the mud. Imagination is not required, but it really helps. The more you can get into it and really feel it, the better it is. The more appreciation you can feel in that moment, any moment, the faster you will spin that resonance into being, into becoming who it is that you are so appreciating. And that is literally what you're doing. You are praying something into existence by appreciating it. A prayer is gratitude. It's not asking for something that you're missing. So, oh God, can I please win the lottery so I can pay my bills? It's not exactly like that. It's, wow, I'm paying my bills. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is awesome. Doesn't really matter how. We kind of get caught up in the how. I mean, for Karen, all she knows that her boyfriend could drive from California. Not that it's likely, but he could. I've driven to California before, so it could happen. So the hows don't really matter at all. It's the visceral appreciation for the feeling. So any opportunity that you can experience a synchronicity or anything at all, I'm actually going to bring that forward now, unless anyone has any other questions about synchronicities. Okay. You can, two things. First thing, creating opportunities in symbols. Second thing is actually moving energy to create a vortex. So first thing, you actually create synchronicities on purpose. So for me, with the thing in California, going to Mount Shasta and all that good stuff, I created the symbol of the pine tree pretty big time. I had the smell of the pine needles, the feel of pine needles underfoot, and fire. But the pine trees were the big ones. With the car, I actually went online to the DMV, and I created, they have the Virginia has the most vanity plates in any state because we don't have to pay extra for them, so it's pretty cool. So we've got a ton of vanity plates all over the place. Other people have to pay every single year for the chance to do that. But anyway, they have part of the DMV has a website that lets you try out license plates. You can see if yours has been taken or not, and you can actually make a mock license plate. So I did. I created one, Virginia license plate, and it said Thought Creates on it, THTCR8S. Then I made that my wallpaper on my computer. And that is not at all a symbol for, which is what I'm supposed to be doing. But I did link it up to the synchronicity of symbols of other people who had vanity plates. I really liked my vanity plates. I did make it a wallpaper on my computer, so I saw it. It was in front of me. And then anytime I saw a Virginia vanity plate anywhere, and they're all over the place, I would think, and I get to have one too. That's going to be awesome. This is going to be great. And that's how I linked it up. Does that make sense? Linking up your own symbols as sources of appreciation?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yay. And thank you for you people who keep saying yes. I appreciate it. So let's see. So you can link up symbols. For Karen, perhaps you could link up I don't know. Can you think of anything at all that would...